a lot of my mount attacks are always going to be a matter of moving north in such a way that it exposes him to submissions, but he can't stop me from doing it. One way you can do this is I'm blocking his collarbones, like at the top of his shoulder, and I'm going to use my knee now. I'm not going to slowly peel his arm out, because that's going to be a strength thing. I'm going to get him either up to here or out to here before he can do anything about it. This is the place that he's the strongest. Like if he's trying to nail his elbow to the floor, he's stronger here than he is if we start here, right? Same if his arm gets peeled out by my knee, it's much harder for him to bring his elbow to his side from here than it is for him to keep it at his side here. And so when he's not expecting it, I'm going to use my knee to pry the elbow. So I'm gonna come in. It's going to be like a little bit of a surprise now. And once the elbow is peeled out that much, I'm going to switch and block his head, and then I'm going to put his bicep and his ear together. I'm going to bring his arm up over his head to here and fill the space right here with my knee. I'm going to bring my knee up and now use my other hand to pick this elbow up over here and turn this foot over. A lot of our arm bars, I tell you to show them the bottom of your foot. Now I'm going to lace his arm, put my hand on the floor, bring my leg over, and I have the arm bar here. You can finish it either with a teddy bear hug on his arm, which covers just so much of his arm it's hard to escape, or you can prevent him from turning his arm by C-gripping, 2 C-grips on his wrist, and then sit back with the arm. It's important you don't do the knee part without the elbow, because he can just move north. So I'm stopping his movement, and I'm trying to crash through this space here. Whether his elbow goes out or goes like up my leg, yeah, kind of like up here, doesn't matter. I'm going to do the same thing with that arm. So I slide up and sort of surprise him. And now I'm going to block the other side, gather. You can even connect your hands to get that last couple inches. Putting his bicep right to his ear. And I'll fill this space with my knee. And now, reaching over here, just like a spatula, I'm going to pick up his elbow here, turn my leg over, and you notice I'm not sitting on the floor. My weight doesn't come off him. Matt would report. I'm actually heavy now because I'm putting the side of my leg on him, and he's carrying my weight. So now I'm going to lace inside his arm, lace and base on the far side, and then bring this leg over. I'm totally sitting on Matt right now, and then either a teddy bear hug or 2 C-grips, and I can pull the arm straight and sit back with it here. I want to end up in an armbar, right? And in an armbar, his arm is essentially, it's not to my left or to my right, it's right in the center of my body. It's right parallel with my spine. So that's how high I'd like to get with my knee. I'd like to be so high with my knee in this position that his arm is center spine. And that's way higher than most people first think they should bring their knee. So if I'm going to get my knee this high, which is how high it was, like it was like my whole knee appeared above his head if you were to view from the side. It feels like more than most people do. Bring this together, and when I slide this knee up, it's above his head. The other detail I'd like to talk about when we're doing this move is this moment here. I pick up his elbow, and a lot of people, and sometimes it's because of flexibility, and you just have to work within your limits, but a lot of people will kind of get up to turn this over. There's only really 2 ways to get that to turn over. One is to make space for it, and my weight comes off, and the other is to draw a circle. Draw a circle with my heel. And not only do I not come off when I do that, but I actually get the benefit of this knee bending sort of bite. So when I pick this up, and then I start turning this around, I'm still heavy, but I can actually bite here. Do you feel that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like actually giving him a hug with my leg. And that's because it's at an angle where I can do that comfortably. I'm not flexible. It's not because I'm flexible. So when you pick up the elbow, don't get up and turn this over to show him the bottom of your foot. Draw a big circle and put the bite in at the end. Here's your bite. And then lace and base and sit. And again, his arm is in the center of my body because I did a good job of bringing my knee like over his head. Kind of like on the armbar, that we did when we crashed through the elbow. When I go for the Americana, I sort of want to crash through his strong zone. So if I wanted to push his arm from here to the floor, the part where he is the strongest is when his forearm is inside of his bicep. Here's his bicep, and his hand is over here. If his hand was over here, here he's weak, here he's strong. So I only really need to get him 5 inches, 6 inches from there to there. So I'm going to do it like this. I'm not going to get into a, knock, knock, here I am, may I come in, and then push. I'm just going to strike it out. To crash through the strong zone, which was like sort of my strategy with my knee on the armbar, I'm going to do the same thing here, and I'm going to, you can have him right to your body. I'm going to just crash through, right? That doesn't hurt him. This isn't a submission. It's not like cranking a submission on. It's just getting through the strong zone suddenly to where he's definitely going to be weaker. You're definitely going to get big reactions when you do this to people. So I'm just going to crash through to here, and now he can resist all he wants, and me leaning on it is going to be good. In addition to just striking through the strong zone, I also want to fake him out a little bit, especially once I've tried this once and maybe failed, or if I've tried this another roll with him, he's going to be sort of savvy to what I'm doing. So I'm not just going to look at this one and go for this one. I'm going to kind of like a little bit fake him out. Okay? And this is what I call like a duck, duck, goose entry to an Americana. Okay? Because it's duck, duck. He never knows when it's going to be goose, and then it's goose, right? And again, I'm striking only from here to here. I am too inflexible to put my hand even on the floor. So I'm not talking about striking through everything. I'm talking about striking from here to here. Just get his hand outside his bicep. Okay. So, and the duck, duck, goose part of this is, he doesn't know which one I'm going to do. Boom, boom, boom. And I can fake him out with my head. We can get into like basically striking concepts. I can head fake. I can look with my eyes and fake him out. But that's it. When I start doing this, sometimes people they'll hold your wrist. Yeah, this. Sometimes somebody's gonna defend what we're doing, like an Americana entry, by doing this. And truly, I can't push this arm out because he's holding it. So he has protected this arm. If he decided this was the arm he was like worried about, or most believed I was going to go for, then he'll hold on to it sometimes. He'll clutch his pearls. But if he ever does this, it's the top arm I can get. Okay, just so you guys know. So you can still fake. I still might fake, but the top arm you can get. Whichever one was on top, this is the one that you can get. Or if I'm like this, this is the one that you can get. Once I have his arm out to the floor, let's just look at a standard Americana. So the standard Americana, I'm going to put my elbow in the crook of his neck, and right away, my concern should be that he punches his arm straight. Even if I stay attached and I come over here, this is now no longer good for me. So what I really want to lock my elbow in the crook of the neck, and then roll this grip over a little bit. It does a lot to keep him from straightening his arm. So I roll my grip over, and then I sort of attach to his neck a little more. Right? I'm not elbowing him in the neck. Now there's a little pressure, so punch your arm straight. It should be harder to do. And if you want, you can hold on with the second arm until it's time to go. If he just keeps threatening to straighten the arm, you can just hold on here until you're ready to go. So when you are ready to go, I'm going to bring my hand underneath his tricep and over my arm. This is a standard detail for Americana. So I've got his arm nice and pinned. I come underneath and I hold my wrist. So while you bring your hand underneath, I love this detail. While you bring your hand underneath, bring your foot underneath. And what I'm doing is I'm hooking his leg here. You'll notice that I'm not flexing my foot and extending this way. That's not the kind of hook I'm talking about. That is a grapevine. I'm hooking and I'm bringing my toes to the ceiling. I'm actually doing a curl with my, the bicep of the leg. So I'm bringing my heel to my butt, my toes to the ceiling, and I'm taking my weight off my knee. What actually happens is my hip bone is driving into him and it's pinning him down. So any of the bridging escapes that the person would do are mitigated somewhat by the fact that I'm pinning his body to the floor using my hip bone. I've pinned this, and maybe I hold on so he doesn't punch it straight. In the moment I come under, I do the same with the leg. And now my knee, no weight on my knee at all. It extends down. My toes go to the ceiling, so up like this. I always look away and put my head on the back of my hand. That helps pin his wrist because I'm adding weight. And it protects me from you know, in a street fight, protects me from eye gouges and other stuff. So I'm gonna do this, paint his elbow toward his side. Yeah, it's pretty tight already. You know, they say paint a line and a straight line down his body at the same time as lifting his elbow here. Okay. If you did roll this grip over, it does make this happen much more quickly. He's tapping much quicker than if I'm rolled this way, which would let him punch his arm straight, and that is the mistake. But you can see that he can go much further here than here. And you can do it, actually, you can do it with both wrists. And it's going to be almost an instant Americana. It's a good shoulder lock.